Opening the first regional ministerial conference of the East African Community Common Higher Education Area at Speak Resort, Munyonyo.
African Community Partner States are meeting in a ministerial conference since it was declared a common higher education area in May 2017. The Higher Education Conference reviews the journey East Africa member states have moved since inception of the common higher education area. President Museveni cited imbalances in school fees charges for international students in Uganda, calling upon partner states to resolve the standards.
In the schools where children are paying for education, some of the teachers were charging students from South Sudan higher than the ones from Uganda. Oh, we almost went to war. Stop this. What are you doing? All the children must pay the same. It's really criminal. What are you thinking? Then we ought to have common standards. Once I have qualified here, I should be able to move and be employed in the other countries.
The higher education area will ensure graduates are employable across partner states and beyond, and institutions can share expertise. The Minister for Education and Sports, Janet Museveni, said higher education institutions can be of value to the government programs like parish development model.
Higher education needs to transform itself from being perceived as an ivory tower of ideas to becoming the solution to common socio-economic challenges that households encounter in their day-to-day lives. Higher education can be innovative in driving a cottage industry mindset whereby once a student graduates, he or she thinks of what they can do first and foremost from one's home or household before looking elsewhere for employment.
Since inception, the EAC Common Higher Education Area has adapted frameworks in qualifications, developed a regional quality assurance framework to ensure quality.
Harmonization of the higher education systems, facilitating mutual recognition of academic qualifications, boosting students and labor mobility, addressing quality assurance challenges.
We must prioritize full demonstration and implementation of regional frameworks at national and institutional levels, promoting competency-based curricula aligned with regional and global labor market demand, mobilizing sustainable financing for research and quality assurance, and accelerating the recognition of qualification to unlock the potential of the common market.
At least 400 delegates from East Africa and beyond are attending the conference on the theme Enhancing Integration through Harmonized Higher Education Systems or Sustainable Development in East Africa. I'm Nafka Farida in Munyonyo.
Mr. Robin Nabanja has announced Wakiso District Public Service Delivery engagements beginning on the 13th of September 2025. While presenting the Government Service Delivery Scorecard of 2021-25 by the NRM government, Nabanja revealed that at least 52% of the commitments are complete and the rest are ongoing.
The Prime Minister Robin Nabanja has presented the Service Delivery Scorecard of the NRM government performance in Wakiso District for the 2021-2025 term of office.
The NRM government has built a strong foundation for every Ugandan to live a happy life, leaving no one behind.
In the education sector, Wakiso district has 100 parishes, whereby each parish has a universal primary living education school, which is 100% scored. The district has 27 sub-counties, and at least 21 have government-aided secondary schools, which is 78%.
Government has so far disbursed to Wakiso district 25 billion 571 million to build new school infrastructure and rehabilitate the existing facilities. We have 8 constituencies in Wakiso district. We still have a gap there. Only 2 have a technical school. Under health, 7 out of 8 constituents in Wakiso district have a health center 4, representing 88% coverage.
The Prime Minister has elaborated other sectors where government has scored highly.
Under roads, government has been able to provide 26 billion 83 million 583 300 to Wakiso district between the year 2021 to 2025. And the money has been utilized according to the reports we have to maintain 1,855 kilometers of roads.
She has announced as her office is to carry out follow-up public engagements in Wakiso district to ascertain the reflection of these figures.
On Friday 12th, we shall have public meetings, one at Rufuka Playground in Zana, and this will be attended by leaders and the people of Kisoro South and the Entebbe municipality. Saturday 13th September 2025, we shall have a public meeting at Kira Playground, and of course we are inviting leaders and the people of Chadondo East and Kira municipality.
The Premier cautions Wakiso district residents for choosing opposition leaders which affect service delivery by the government.
Despite these successes, the current leaders in Wakiso continue to paint the NRM government as having not delivered to the people of that part of the country. To me, this is being selfish.
Other humanitarian and wealth creation projects where government has delivered include Sage for Elder Persons, Youth Livelihood Program, Uganda Women Enterprise Program, Parish Development Model, and Emyoga. Abdunasele Lubwama and Regana Humza for UBC.
The NRM Electoral Commission Chairperson Dr. Tanga Udoi has welcomed the Elections Tribunal ruling, which nullified his son's victory as chairperson for the National Youth League for the party. In compliance, Udoi told the media in Kampala that he has welcomed the recommendation setting him aside from his duties during the announced fresh elections for the youth.
Then they asked me about my son, that's what I answered.
In a three-page letter issued on Monday, 8th September 2025, the NRM Elections Tribunal set aside the victory of Tan Collins, who had won the National Chairperson Youth League.
I can tell you that tribunal has worked well. We can have 1 or 2 misgivings, but it has brought people to some sense to realize you cannot just keep shouting everywhere.
The ruling, which called for fresh elections, however, locked out the Commission Chairperson, Dr. Tanga Udoi, from accessing the polling center.
I'm happy with them saying step aside. Step aside does not mean you are dismissed. Just step aside, 1 hour, 2 hours, go back to office and elect other MPs.
Addressing media in Kampala, Dr. Tanga Udoi did not regret being a parent to one of the race's hosts, Tan Collins.
This was a very fair ruling. In the circumstance, they did a good job. And I want to, for avoidance of doubt, Tanga Collins is my son. He's my second born. That one is not denied. Election is an event. Life and relationship, my son, is a process. I have no problem with the tribunal ruling. What they say is what we shall do.
Dr. Tango Doi also hails earlier decisions of the tribunal, which has seen them organize fresh elections, and now results are out.
Buyende district one member of parliament was supposed to vote 56 villages. And Namulondo Sara, who had won, garnered 86,580 and is declared the winner of that election. The other election was in Namayingo South constituency in Namayingo district. Wanyama Michael Odwori, who had won, is still the winner with 8,672 votes. Then we go to Bukono constituency, Namutumba district. The tribunal ruled that we vote in 30 villages in Kibale Town Council and 46 villages in Kibale Sub-County. Maganda Emmanuel Katoko, who had won, still won with 20,512, defeating Namuganza passes hands down.
To the losers, Odoi advises them to consider and move on, and specifically points out Persis Namuganza, who has now lost twice.
We want losers to be humble losers, not like in Namutumba, where a whole minister destroyed sets of gadgets we are using. Good enough, we had already extracted the results. They destroyed the laptops, they broke some tables, but the winner remains the winner. We wish her the best wherever she will go.
Robert Nyango, UBC News.
UBC News tonight. The Health Service Commission has declared that Kisenyi Health Center 4 must urgently be upgraded to hospital status to save both patients and staff from collapse. In concluding a 2 weeks inspection of Kampala health facilities, the Commission Chair Dr. Henry Mwebesa warned that Kisenyi is functioning as a hospital without hospital resources.
Kisenyi Health Center 4 registers 800 deliveries and nearly 300 cesarean sections every month by only 3 doctors. This was disclosed to the members of the Health Service Commission at a familiarization tour of the facility.
This facility should be a hospital going forward as soon as possible. In that case, they will have more staff, they'll have a better wage, they'll have more essential medicines and health supplies, and they'll have better operation, a budget for operation costs. The major areas that need immediate intervention in this place is to avail a wage bill.
The Commission was conducting a 2-week familiarization tour of health facilities and assessing the working environment, engaging with frontline staff and identifying urgent interventions.
Because they are getting a budget for a health center 4, but their outputs here are more of a bigger hospital. So they also need a budget for, increased budget for essential medicines and health supplies. And of course, operation costs.
Hospital managers told the Commission that there is improved patient trust, reduced malpractice, although failure to expand the wage bill and recruit more staff could leave workers overstressed.
We have 13 midwives in maternity and 10 in antenatal. 13 are the ones who give that output of over 800 deliveries a month, and about 4,000 ANC attendances a month against 10 midwives. When we go to NICU, there's only 1 doctor and 8 nurses to take care of over 200 babies a month.
The health workers over years, they've changed their attitude towards handling the patients. The extortion rates are really minimal. We have better relationship with our patients, so you find that they keep coming back, and this contributes to the high number of clients that we are seeing.
The Commission pledged to push Cabinet, the Minister of Health and the Minister of Finance for urgent recruitment, better pay, expanded budgets and a full hospital status for Kisenyi Health Center 4.
There are issues we have identified which require the Ministry of Health to address immediately. But there are issues which we will also have to take up with government, the bigger body of government, Ministry of Finance, Cabinet, to address especially the critical staffing gaps in these institutions that we shall have to address with the bigger government in general.
Sudat Kaye, UBC News.
The Electoral Commission Chairperson, Justice Simon Byabakama, has said that they have received 15 petitions from aspirants citing irregularities in the nomination process. He also said that presidential candidates shall be nominated from the 23rd to the 24th of September and at the Electoral Commission headquarters in Lubowa, where preparations are ongoing to set up the site.
The Electoral Commission has so far issued nomination forms to 220 presidential aspirants intending to contest for presidency. Nominations for presidential candidates is scheduled for 23rd to 24th September 2025 at the Electoral Commission headquarters in Lubowa, where preparations are ongoing to set up the site.
In terms of infrastructure, there isn't much as yet. However, we felt it prudent that we conduct this very key milestone of presidential nominations at the same site or venue. As we speak now, work is going on to prepare the site appropriately so that we can have very successful nominations.
The Electoral Commission Chairperson Simon Byabakama says that all successful presidential candidates will appear on the ballot paper.
But for us, our work is, the law does not say restrict them to 10. No, the law does not say that. Amateeka tegakutugamba ngo barahika 10 mwemereze mukingeho nangu barama 20 tuliturukia ballot paper kusane kitabu kandi turakora tutu.
The Commission has received 15 petitions over irregularities in the nomination process.
As you are aware, the Electoral Commission is mandated under Article 61 of the Constitution and Section 15 of the Electoral Commission Act to hear and determine complaints arising before and during elections.
At least 20 symbols have been gazetted for presidential candidates running as independents and shall be allocated on first-come, first-served basis.
If a candidate is a party flag bearer, automatically the symbol for that candidate is the party symbol. But if the candidate is independent, then he or she will select from among the 20 symbols which we have approved and gazetted, and that symbol will be for that candidate, for that elected position.
The Electoral Commission also engages candidates on what other symbols are available. Trust me, our agenda is so broad and very inclusive to the extent that we can always agree with the people of Uganda and take on another symbol.
Campaigns for parliamentary candidates will begin in November, while presidential campaigns are expected to kick off in early October 2025 once the schedules are agreed upon. Ivan Kahwa, Pauline Ongoet, UBC News.
Senior Presidential Assistant for Special Duties, Fiona Barungi, has vowed to crack down on lawyers who misuse police and courts to grab land. Barungi made the remarks at Luan Tulagala village, Mbarara City, where she was on a fact-finding mission on a disputed 100 acres piece of land. The complaint was filed by Matama Robert, who accused Trine Franco and Burio David of fraudulently taking over his land.
During the meeting held at the contested land, both parties were present. Matama, helped by his grand, narrated how he was robbed of his land and how his son was jailed.
So when they took him, they intoxicated him like they did, and they stole the title from him. He came and reported to police. After a while, Mr. Burio David comes with the original title with a land agreement saying that they had sold to him.
Burio David claimed he bought the land from Matama for more than 2 billion shillings, paid in 5 installments. He said Matama signed the sale agreement.
But I'm so surprised But Matama is saying that he doesn't know anything. He has never even received some money. So he said that the title from Mr. Matamba is no longer valid.
Big figures of money. Can he produce at least one cheat of a certain installment?
Balungi, however, questioned why Bulyo paid such huge amount of money without the presence of a local council chairperson or even Matama's wife as witnesses.
That man has been paying that money in installments, in 5 installments.
David, when he was asked questions, he couldn't even answer. Because you cannot tell me you paid land in 5 installments and you're starting from first installment 100, second installment 500, third installment you tell me 6,400, and then you end up actually being passed the money you paid. So he could not express himself according to how he paid the money.
Matama's grandfather alleged that Twine Franco, aided by the lawyers, coerced Matama into signing away his land in exchange for promises to free his jailed son.
He comes with the original title that was stolen, and he said that they had sold to him the land at 2.8 billion. They had sold to him. Yes, that Mzee had sold him. Okay, that Mzee had sold to him. Okay, the cases have been dismissed with costs. He has paid over 100 million with receipts attached.
A lawyer present at the meeting declined comment since the matter was before court.
There are those where his son also sued individually. There are those where they combined them. So you cannot say this one should go here, this one should go here.
For me, these people are saying we are wasting time, and it is very, very hurting for a presidential advisor to move from Kampala. Then the lawyer says, let them waste their time. Meaning that even to be honest, they have studied law, they know they can turn down things.
Balungi emphasized that some lawyers misuse their profession and rob innocent people.
It is unfortunate that some individuals involving lawyers who even work with some people in court to try to take what doesn't belong to them because they studied law and they can use technicalities of law to take what doesn't belong to them. We are going to deal with them because when you look at someone called Bulyo David, he has a lot of cases according to the information that I've gotten so far, but I'm going to verify and I will get the right truth. So we shall deal with him. He will face courts of law. So he must be brought to book.
Jamil Sekaja compiled this report.
The Electoral Commission has nominated various candidates countrywide to fill in council positions ahead of the 2026 general elections. In Machindi and Kawempe divisions in Kampala, many have been nominated, as our reporter gives it here.
The Electoral Commission offices across the country were busy during nominations for local government positions. In Machindi division, those nominated for mayoral division race was Senator Geoffrey on independent ticket, John Bosco Lusagara on National Unity Platform ticket.
My main points are on, 1, the lights on the road. The lights are no longer working. I'm going to work on that issue immediately. 2, the second is the garbage collection. The garbage collection is a problem, is one of the major problems in Machindi.
You know, in Machindi, like I told you, I've been the deputy mayor in the past 5 years. So I know where my mayor has stopped. So from there, our plan is to begin with solid waste management. You know, we have a challenge of solid waste in this area that has caused lots of diseases, lots of very many issues.
Noops Lusagara had no sweet words for those who decided to come as independent after being denied the party ticket.
Kusaba na kampani bana Uganda omuntu abadde mu kibiina kino bw'atafunye kati naddukira mu kirala oyo mutwale oli waddemu okumuyita malaya.
Also those aspiring for councillors position were nominated and promised better service delivery.
Kuba twagala buwanguzi emirundi mingi tulemu okukolera abantu.
Meanwhile, from Kawempe, Those nominated decried the poor road network, drainage system, and poor waste management.
I'm so excited that I'm nominated. Eranga subiza abantu bange tugenda kukolera wamu. Ina kadi ya NUP gye bampadde nze flag bearer wa NUP.
Philip Aguta compiled this for UBC News.
The Sapphire Africa Foundation has appealed to government to support persons suffering from Duchenne muscular dystrophy, a rare but devastating condition that claims hundreds of lives annually.
World Duchenne Awareness Day, commemorated every September 7th, focuses on three pillars: education, health, and empowerment. This year, the world once again marked the day with Sapphire Africa Foundation, standing along families, advocates, and the global Duchenne community to shine a light on this genetic condition. According to Sapphire Africa Foundation team lead Paul Collins, early symptoms such as progressive muscle weakness are too often misunderstood or attributed to witchcraft and curses instead of medical issues.
When something is genetical, it's not caused by anyone. It just happens. So muscular dystrophy, Duchenne muscular dystrophy being a genetic disorder, which is very severe.
As of now, there is actually no way to stop that, as of now. And the only way to do that is when you're going to get married, they would advise you to do some tests. So this is probably one of the things that you could run before you get married. And
one of the victims, Rona Caroline Chimpaye, recalls first experiencing symptoms at the age of 11. With no knowledge of what she was suffering from, she began noticing heaviness in the body, weakness, and fatigue. Later, after giving birth to a son, she lost her ability to walk, only to discover that her son also developed the same symptoms. Today, she and her son face both isolation and discrimination.
When I was 11 years, that's when I started seeing the symptoms. Actually, my mom was like, Rona, you're starting to bounce like boys. But she didn't know that maybe it was affecting me. Later on, I moved on like that, but it was progressing in my life. My body started weakening. I could not do certain things that I used to do, like lift up even a 5-liter jerry can. At that time, I could not. So if you look at me carefully, you will notice that I can't even lift my hands because you feel the heaviness in your body.
Duchenne muscular dystrophy is hereditary, passed from mother to child, and most commonly affects boys between the ages of 3 and 6. Without early detection and intervention, life expectancy rarely goes beyond 30 years. The condition severely impacts both physical and mental well-being. Nurse Betty Elizabeth, who works with DMD patients, explains that the disease gradually breaks down body muscles, leaving families struggling to afford the high cost of physiotherapy, wheelchairs, and other assistive devices.
If the symptoms are not managed, like we said, there is no cure now, but we manage symptoms. That's why you see we have said we give them treatment. Sometimes they have pains, we give them painkillers. Others have difficulty in breathing, we give them support with breathing aids, and also include the physiotherapists. So others, of course, they are unable to walk. That's why we give them clutches. When they reach a point and they cannot be able to use clutches, we provide for them the wheelchairs.
Despite these challenges, Sapphire Africa Foundation has reached out to several districts including Wakiso, Nakaseke, Fort Portal, Gulu, Kamwenge, and Kampala to spread awareness of the disease, which is still largely neglected by policymakers. The foundation is now appealing to the government through the Ministry of Health to intervene, invest in diagnostic services, and increase awareness campaigns across the country. According to Sapphire Africa Foundation statistics, approximately 300,000 children are affected annually, with 1% being female and the rest male. Charity Marion Imnat for UBC News.
ebiseera by'okuzaayo abaana mu masomero tebiteekwa kukaluubiriza n'akatono. Eno kusimba nnyiriri mpanvu kano kalipagano ka bidduka. Simanyi kuzunga na banka siripusi? Kati osobola okusasula school fees z'omwana wo ate n'okola n'ebirala ntoko ku ssimu ye ey'omu ngalo. Ekikola kyangu nnyo. Nyiga bunyizi *165*8 ogoberera ebikulagiriddwa oba okozese app ya MTN Momo. Ate kati okola ki olwaleero? MTN Mobile Money Uganda Limited erungamizibwa banka enkulu eya Uganda.
At UNOC, we believe in safety.
Every waking day is a reminder just how beautiful this, our land, truly is. The kind of beauty that you can only find here, in the lush green all around us and the wondrous sights within. It's in the distinct aroma of our cooking to the taste of food that takes you on a journey. In the sound of homecoming and the sound of Mother Earth. In the magnificence we find on our travels and the exciting moments we experience. Ours is the kind of beauty that comes in all things big and small. All we have to do is awaken our senses and truly enjoy what's uniquely ours. Explore Uganda, the pearl of Africa.
Welcome back from the break, and thank you so much for watching. A Jamaican artist, Spice, has paid over $10,000 in a Rhino campaign which targets to raise $11 million to translocate rhinos from Ziwa Rhino Sanctuary in Nakasongola to Ajai Game Reserve and national parks to secure and expand Uganda's rhinos.
Fantastic. Uganda is set to host Jamaican Queen of Dancehall Spice in December. Among other activities she'll be doing during her stay in Uganda will be to name one calf at Ziwa Rhino Sanctuary that is apparently used as a breeding ground for the multiplicity of rhinos and introducing over 20 rhinos to the wild in Ajai Game Reserve.
She's going to be naming a rhino, a baby rhino, and not only naming it, but she's also going to give a token of $10,000.
Ladies and gentlemen, can we appreciate?
The Name a Rhino campaign was recently launched by the Ministry of Tourism as the first of its kind in Uganda. However, the mega event will take place on 22nd September 2025 at Ziwa Rhino Sanctuary in Nakasongola, which will be officiated by President Yoweri Kaguta Museveni.
Given the threats we face from biodiversity loss, climate change and pollution as part of conserving the rhinos in Uganda, we will translocate the rhinos to Ajai Wildlife Reserve to accommodate the growing number of rhinos.
Paula Mwesigwa, the Executive Director, African One Tours and Travels Limited, said, coming up with Safari's new brand will focus on entertainment tourism, encourage both local and international tourists to appreciate Uganda's beauty.
We, as Africa One, that has come up with this new brand of Safari Beats, is to change or improve or add value to the tourism industry in Uganda. It is going to be through entertainment that speaks to the world, that speaks to everybody, that is going to sell Uganda to the world.
Daniel Irunga, the brand manager, Uganda Tourism Board, who represented the Tourism Ministry, highlighted a lineup of activities ahead of the arrival of the Jamaican dancehall singer.
Spice has a network of audiences of up to 25 million, so we will use her as an ambassador to tell people or to tell our audiences about how beautiful our country is, you know. From the palace, she will go down to Namugongo. From there, Spice will proceed to the Maxwell Falls.
We will have pop-up parties in different locations, different bars, different areas, different regions of the country, ensuring that our story is told, the story of Uganda, about all the great things that nobody knows.
Agaba Sheldon, the Deputy Commandant Tourism Police, which oversees the security of tourists outside, lined some of the standard operating procedures to be followed in places where the dancehall singer will be performing.
We have our team that normally secures those concerts. Then we have a team deployed in Wakiso Falls National Park, which will take care of the security for the game rides for top of the falls.
Helen Barbara and Sula Kagugube.
Ministry of Water and Environment, partnering with joint efforts to save the environment and Natural Resource Defense Initiative, Join for Water, have collaborated to restore River Mpanga and protect its buffer zones from degradation by neighboring communities.
Restoration activities to protect River Mpanga include sensitization campaigns, a 100-meter boundary opening, tree planting, and alternative environment-friendly livelihood activities in the districts of Kabarole, Kamwenge, and Kitagwenda, where the river is most affected.
What the program intends to achieve, protection of conservation of buffer zones along River Mpanga, is actually done because one, this stems right from the Panga Catchment Plan.
The team manager, Albertine Water Management Zone, under the Ministry of Water and Environment, Dr. Emmanuel Guma, cites poor human activities that have negatively affected the intervention of partners.
In the dry season, we have less power being generated because there's actually little more water flowing into the river system. And in the wet season, we have highly silted water that impairs, impairs the turbines, from generating hydroelectric power.
Residents and leaders in all districts are ensuring the river is protected.
When Jesse and Join for Water came on board, restoration has been put in place. They were able to demarcate the area, the buffer zone, and they talked to the community that later willingly left the place. And those that left willingly, they were given other sources of livelihood.
The community was able now to know that actually my land stops here, then the wetland also begins from here. So that is one restoration strategy, that activities which were conducted within the wetland, because they didn't know the boundary.
District local governments where Mpanga River meanders through have formulated bylaws to protect the river.
The first thing to do, together with the district physical planning committee, when we are doing inspection, we must make sure that the buffer zone is protected, and we must survey this land outside.
We've been able to form catchment management committees. We've been able to form catchment management plans. They have not been funded by the government of Uganda through the Ministry of Water and Environment. And therefore, the bulk of the support that we have used to implement the catchment management plans is from the partners.
Sensitization continues right away from the villages to the parishes, even to sub-county, even at district level.
River Mpanga covers approximately 200 kilometers and meanders through 6 districts of Kabarole, Kyenjojo, Kamwenge, Kitagwenda, Ibanda, and parts of Kiruhura and pouring its waters into Lake George. Joseph Chigozigola and Bridget Kawahenda for UBC News.
Leaders in Kotido and Kabong districts have want Ministry of Water and Production to speed up the construction of Nangoroporon Dam in Nakaperimoru sub-county Kotido district. This was during the stakeholders meeting and site handover of the construction of the dam in Kotido.
In 2020, drought resilience in Karamoja sub-region was launched, and this was to provide water for production in the 4 districts of Karamoja, the Lemusoi cluster to cater for Nakapiripirit and Amudat districts, and Nangoroporon cluster to cater for Kabong and Kotido districts. Officials from Ministry of Water and Environment and funding partners of KFW have met district leaders from the implementing districts.
Every day our people are killed across these regions because they go looking for water for their animals, looking for pasture for other animals. For us, when you say that you're coming up with a project, Minister of Water, you're coming up with a project to support the construct a mega dam.
Through it when it's just 5 years old. Everyone walking through a dam, we should drown a human being. So what exactly are we doing? I think let's get to those things right so that we move together.
Used to these conditions for us to have this dam as soon as possible.
We are looking, and we really need to meet all the processes and international standards for this type of infrastructure, and that takes a long time. We take the community engagement seriously, we take land use very seriously, we take all the environmental and social issues seriously, because I am confident we share the same objective. We want to see this infrastructure to be sustainable, to be long-lasting, and to have a good quality.
Ministry of Water and Environment Commissioner for Water for Production, Engineer Katokaizi, explains the progress.
We have worked with the stakeholders to identify youth livelihood projects to see that the young warriors can get alternative areas of employment. We have also surveyed and undertaken environmental and social impact assessments for the study, and we have also now concluded the designs for the valley tanks and the dams. So the next critical milestone is to procure the contractors for the 2 dams.
Then the site handover of Nangoroporon Dam in Nakaperimoru sub-county.
We continue the support as the implementing agents to ensure that we have timely implementation of these facilities. I hereby equally hand over the certificate as an instrument for the PMU to start work on the project. I hand over to Engineer Tabaro, who is the regional manager at Karamoja.
Meanwhile, Kabong District Chairperson Mary Gino complained about the shoddy work at Usake Dam in Morungole sub-county.
Animal industries and fisheries, big elements. We were given a big dam in Usake in 2018, 2019. And recently, they announced that their project, they have finished, they have completed. The dam, which is supposed to be, the height is supposed to be 18 meters. Now you have given us 14 meters. The water just came in, and now it is flowing. The river actually is continuing now. There is no dam. And I'm afraid even the 14 meters, because of the way it is done, it cannot last even 4 years.
The project has strategic dams, 9 valley dams, 20 production wells for domestic water and water for production.
The Director of Inspection, Environment and Sanitation at KCCA is at the center of a heated debate following a sewage-related controversy in Kawempe. It follows a viral video accusing a major factory of polluting community drainage channels.
Teams from KCCA and the Ministry of Health have launched an inspection to trace effluent flow from the drainage mouth to the factory's waste treatment facility. Earlier tensions had escalated before it was found that the source of the contamination came from a neighboring residency. A resident had illegally connected a pipe from their septic tank to the drainage system, with sewage spilling over into the channel during rainstorms. Findings showed that Harris International had complied with all health and safety regulations. Even at the fecal treatment section, operations were conformed to environmental standards. In addition, the inspection team observed widespread garbage dumping during the rainy season due to residents' failure to afford waste collection services. Efforts by Harris to extend the drainage system had been halted previously as locals demanded compensation.
Rihambo yajja mu kitundu tetwalinawo mwala munene bwetyo. Twakeera ku makyanga yafunye tractor nepenetratinga nekolamu omwala omunene ennyo oguleeta amazzi amangi ennyo ekitaaliwo bifo. Ku ssaawa eno abatuuze abamu bagamba nti bali so affected olw'ensonga nti amazzi almost gatwala buli ekyabwe. N'obukulu bw'ensonga eyo abamu baagala basooke batuule ku Tebemu ne Riham era bo beeyina akasente keebawaayo balyoke bayiseewo omwala.
KCC warns residents against poor waste management.
Actually, the effluent that was being complained about is actually not from Reham, it is coming from the nearby households. They are the ones that have built toilets along the drainage channel and they have buried pipes which discharge fecal matter into the drainage. So that's what we have found, and so moving forward what we are going to do, we have, as KCCA, we have instructed our division teams, the health inspection team, to notify all the households that are discharging the effluent to stop immediately and contain all their sewage discharge within the premises. And if they fail to do that, we prosecute them.
Likewise, the wastewater or the excreta, the fecal matter, is also first treated and before it is released to the channel. But it is only after it leaves the premises of the factory that is where the mess is. So there is completely no problem with the factory, according to my findings and the findings of everybody who is here. But the problem is outside the fence of the factory, where it looks like the communities have connected sewerage pipes to the channel. That's why it is bringing all the issues around. So they are accusing the factory falsely.
It follows a video circulating online showing former Kawempe North Legislator Elias Lulimba's Narukola and local residents near the Harris International factory claiming that the factory has been discharging effluent into the drainage system.
Health authorities in Kisoro district have confirmed an outbreak of Myiasis in Muramba sub-county, raising serious public health concerns. Kisoro District Health Assistant Officer Nick Muneza says that rare but dangerous parasitic infection has been traced to poor hygiene and sanitation.
The Uganda Public Health Act, and even the Constitution, talks about sanitation.
Medical teams in Kisoro district have reported an upsurge in Myiasis infection with at least 3 confirmed cases treated at Muramba Health Center 3, where patients presented with fly larvae emerging from beneath the skin.
One of the sub-counties incidentally that is doing bad off is one that I come from, the one called Muramba.
While some residents are responding to antibiotics, health workers fear many more cases remain unreported, either due to stigma or reliance on traditional remedies.
Muramba's latrine coverage is very low, yet we have the biggest population in the district. Muramba niyomva ariko isuku iratunaniye.
Experts link the outbreak to unsafe practices such as open defecation, walking barefoot, sleeping on bare floors, and wearing damp clothes.
Noneho kuye umwambaro umwenda ukawambara icyo kinyamugori igiri nk'igiri maze kurenga stage y'igi lava ginjira mu mubiri naryo ni gushaka kugira ngo rikurire mu mubiri wawe.
One affected woman described a painful swelling on her thigh that later burst, releasing pus and a live larva.
memories that echo past outbreaks in the 1990s and early 2000s.
Which means waza no kuza munda munju okashoborora nashi okayikamo okamaza wajireba ekamino yonka wayika munda embera yerimo nembera mbi munonga ati baragiyonja.
District Health Assistant Officer Nick Muneza explained that flies deposit eggs on soil, clothing or bedding, which then hatch and penetrate human skin. He urged residents to dry and iron clothes, cover all wounds and maintain strict household hygiene.
Baswa kugwara yitwa Myiasis. Myiasis indwara iterwa n'ibinyamugera. Ibinyamugera biterwa n'isazi zica zirata amagi ku mubiri w'umuntu nangwa no ku myenda no mu mababi no mu ibiti n'ibyatsi.
Despite intensified healthy campaigns, sanitation challenges persist. Muramba Health Inspector Adorana Amwebonile revealed that political interference undermines enforcement of hygiene bylaws, with some leaders reluctant to sanction households that neglect proper sanitation.
Nashangana muzeyi baramweta ngo ni David owakanyenka ko twamubuzana munonga twayika toilete yarakira kozesa yatujira ngo toilete yatwira ine yamara esande eri tucire ngo buri kucyara kasheshe ayimukaga araza mu trading center emurikire heyi ngo yazaga kunyango kandi bumwe na bumwe ngo yagendaga n'abana be.
Currently, latrine coverage in Kisoro stands at 86%, leaving 14% of households highly vulnerable, particularly in hard-to-reach, low-key, and impoverished areas. Health officials stress that community cooperation, strict enforcement and better sanitation infrastructure are crucial to ending recurrent outbreaks of this preventable disease.
Big thing about the MTN Super. Wali yakapia musite wali yakapia. MTN kabo de super mustairo mpia.